TeeVee, episode 25. My, how time flies. I can almost remember the time where I started all this. Fledgling reviewer robot risking life and limb on the internet to mention his opinions on the things I saw. And look at me now, on the top of the world, king among men, bitches lining up for miles, fans everywhere, it's the bomb. Well, let's get back to it, shall we? Vivir Sin Permiso follows the story of a Spanish entrepreneur in a fishing town who is also the head of a drug operation who gets diagnosed with Alzheimer. This of course puts his life work in jeopardy as he slowly loses the ability to remember things. Besides a competing drug gangs and cartels, he also has to deal with cops and, even worse, his disjointed family consisting of his drug-addicted gay son, spoiled daughter, jealous power-hungry friend to the family, estranged angry wife, and bastard daughter he had with his, unfortunately deceased, love of his life. If this last love triangle isn't enough, we are presented with so many love triangles that it almost looks like an occult symbol of sorts. The daughter has a love triangle with two people, the son has a love triangle, the wife, the sister-in-law, the competitive drug lord, the competitive drug lord's Colombian aide, the cop investigating them, his bastard daughter, the undercover cop. There are so many love triangles that it's almost comical, but then again, this is a Spanish series and the word telenovela is never far away. With all these love triangles, there is a lot of drama going on in the 2 seasons, and some of it is resolved in the most unrealistic manner. Unless you think forgiving someone who betrays you over and over is realistic. Someone even gets killed only to return later as if nothing happened. And a lot of people are killed off from the show. It almost feels like Game of Thrones, minus the 8th season cause that destroyed everything. There are a lot of gorgeous women and dreamy men, and here's a good amount of sex and nudity in the 1st season. Sex, drama, violence, money, it's all there. Living with authorization has some charm, especially during the 1st season. But going into the 2nd season it becomes a little bit too half-assed and nonsensical. It often feels like the writers wrote themselves in a corner and were unable to find a decent way out of it, so they just pretended it was fine. Overall, at the end of season 2 a lot of things are unsaid, even though something major happens which left me longing to know how they would even have a season 3. Something that will not happen as it has been cancelled. Personally, I'd advise you to check out season 1 and leave it at that. Season 2 has a couple of nice characters though, so if you're not annoyed by the end of season 1, but I was left disappointed by the way it was wrapped up. Check that. Snuff is a 1976 movie that claims to be a snuff film, but of course it is not. One also wonders if the people who made this movie even know what a snuff film is, because this looks nothing like it. We follow a couple of girls who are part of a type of Manson-esque cult run by a guy named Satan who kinda acts like Jim Jones. Yes, Satan, but he is not the devil, and it's pronounced a little differently. These girls act like people who have no moral compass, so they start robbing and killing people left and right. Torture is also a big part of the things they do. Why? Because they can. Cause it's a snuff movie with gore. Cause we said so, damn it. There's really not a lot to say about this movie except that it tries and fails. It fails in the gore, it fails in the psychological horror, it fails as a snuff film. It fails to entertain and to be memorable. Just skip it. Well, unless you don't want to. Drop that. The Night House. Sounds spooky, doesn't it? Night House. Even though a house at night is a fairly normal thing. But, Night House. That just sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? This movie does too. Well, a little, not a lot. The Night House shows us Beth, played by Rebecca Hall, who stays at her lakeside residence after the sudden death of her husband. She is, unsurprisingly, on edge and on the brink of a mental breakdown. Things don't help when dreams start haunting her mind, and the house she is residing in. When things get weird, she starts looking for the truth, and then she stares into the Night House. Well, not really, but it sounded good. You'll just have to see to find out. The Night House is a good movie. It's enjoyable and gives enough dread for it to be called a competent horror movie. Of course it loses a little bit of momentum, but overall it's quality entertainment and well worth your time. Check that. Lamb caught my attention the first time I saw the teaser trailer. It's yet another A24 production, and if you know anything about A24, you know that they release some pretty awesome movies of varying subjects and genres. I'm a super fan of A24, so I was eager to see this one. I avoided all other trailers and media and went in blind, as should you. Lamb is a modern fairy tale with a hint of the paranormal and a little horror. It's disturbing in ways but comforting in another. It's weird but natural. It deals with a farmer's couple in Iceland who clearly have a past with loss, and they are going through the motions until a fateful day when one of their sheep delivers a miracle. I'll leave it at that and tell you that the unsuspected visit of a family member throws a slight trench into the newfound happiness. But since this is a movie, things will be resolved. How, when, why, you will see. Do yourself a favor and go watch Lamb. It's beautifully made. The solemn way these two characters are acting amidst the vast cold and harsh nature of Iceland, and how it all changes when that miracle happens. It has some intellect with it, dealing with some symbolism, and deals with the human condition in a most superb way. A way only fairy tales are able to, or horror, whatever floats your boat. Lamb is a definite worthy watch and should be on the menu for any lover of cinema. And again, A24 has done it again. Smash that. An Iranian couple living in the US are having some problems in their relationship and are forced to spend the night in a strange hotel after coming from a party with friends. Strange things happen during the night and they find themselves unable to escape this dreaded place. What follows is a tense trip into the realization and the anxiety to escape a place that seems to be both haunted as well as a paranormal trap. The couple, being a couple, get into arguments, which is quite annoying for a person like me who is tired of couples arguing, but it's part of the plot, and of course things are uncovered. Things that might explain why they are stuck, or might now. Maybe it's symbolic. Who knows? I don't, or maybe I did. Who knows? Regardless of my intellect and expert view of the movie, I would definitely recommend The Night. It's competently made, well acted, novel in the use of Iranian, and feels different from most horror movies, at least for a little while, cause it of course does have some cliche copyright s sprinkled in between. Go check it out, you might like it. It's definitely worth a watch. Check that. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Not the 2005 Tim Burton atrocity Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, is a 1971 movie about a little boy who becomes one of the winners of a golden ticket that allows him, and his companion, to enter the mysterious candy factory created by the even more mysterious Willy Wonka. Half of the movie deals with getting the golden ticket and introduces the characters. Excellently done in a most intelligent and witty way. But then, when we are finally allowed into the factory, the true magic begins. Literally, Willy Wonka can best be described as a sort of Wizard of Oz with a candy theme. It's gloomy and depressing at the beginning, dealing with harsh truths such as greed and poverty, but bright and colourful going forth from that point. Gene Wilder plays Willy Wonka, who is part circus ringmaster, part wizard, part psychopath, as he jumps and twiddles through his factory with apparently little worry about the welfare of the children and chaperone accompanying him. All this of course has its reason, and together with the fun musical interludes you get the idea of what is going on. Yes, this is technically a musical cause there are several musical songs in the movie, with people dancing to it and some animation. You might know that I absolutely hate musicals, but this movie, the songs and the dances are just simply delightful. The movie is just simply delightful for both old and young. It's a must-see. So go see it while chanting, "Oh Oompa Loompa, Doompity Doo. I've got a perfect puzzle for you. Oh Oompa Loompa, Doompity Dee. If you are wise, you'll listen to me. Go watch it, now." Smash that. Bloodwise brings us Brad Dourif and his Brad Dourif ways as a 22-year-old veteran soldier who recently returned home from some kind of war and wants to do something different. He's very angry in a comedic kind of way and quickly lashes out against religion and street preachers. Eventually he decides to become a preacher himself and starts his own church without Jesus, sin, God, the afterlife or anything else related. An anti-church, without a flock. He meets certain people, and well, things happen. Wise Blood is a special type of movie that generally has the vibe of an anti-war movie, much like Born on the 4th of July, but doesn't deal with war at all. At least not the war we think of in the first place. It's about a man returning from whatever atrocities he's witnessed, who lost his faith and tries to find something to live for. And that something is found, or not found, by meeting people and having the experiences you'll see in this film. Wise Blood is said to be a comedic film, albeit a dark comedy, but most of the humor is only chuckles. Brad Dourif plays the character well, but after seeing many performances by the man, I can say he's pretty much playing the same one he usually plays. Wise Blood is an interesting film that can't easily be put in a box, and it definitely has more substance than what appears at first sight. Check it out. Smash that. Killer Tattoo is a Thai movie that is not about a tattoo that kills, but about a killer with a tattoo, and a guy searching for that killer to avenge his parents. It's also about a group of eclectic misfits, amongst them an Elvis impersonator, after they fail a hit on a local cop and are pursued by the criminal underground. Oh, by the way, this is also set in the future, so technically a science fiction movie, but that's pretty much forgotten within the first 20 minutes. Killer Tattoo is a movie that reminds us of the flashy late 90s action movies and combines a semi-Tarantino vibe with some dreadful techno that plays during the action scenes. Did I also mention that this has ghosts in it? Well, now you know. Overall, Killer Tattoo is a movie that is just too long. If it were cut down a bit, I would have appreciated it more, but it just keeps going and going. Especially at the end, when scene after scene you think it'll end, but it doesn't. Even when the credits roll, it just keeps going by showing us bloopers. And that should already say a lot about the movie. Only for those who want to see a weird action movie trying to be early Tarantino and don't mind overly long movies. Drop that. Oneechanbara, Bikini Samurai Squad is a Japanese movie based on the popular zombie slasher video game by Tamsoft for the PlayStation console, featuring scantily clad bikini girls wielding samurai swords to eliminate lots and lots of zombies. The movie takes this amazing premise and attempt to make a movie about it. In a zombie-infested future, she ventures out to slay zombies and save humanity, while also having some family drama involving her sister and father. Unfortunately for a Bikini Samurai Squad, there's very little bikini in my opinion. One would expect a certain amount of sexiness in the movie, but for some reason they made the choice not to be like other movies of the same ilk where short-skirted Japanese girls wield samurai swords. So without the sexiness and cheese, all that is left really is a zombie movie. A zombie movie that is fairly standard and nothing new under the sun. There's people losing loved ones, backstabbing, running and hiding, the works. Being a Japanese movie, there's also semi-slow motion action scenes with a musical score over it, which, in my opinion, is always glorious. Personally, I'd have the main character be in a bikini all the time, regardless if it's logical or not, cause let's face it, there are hordes of zombie movies and they're all the same. At least this would be original. But alas, though don't fret, there's some bikini action, so it's not a total waste of time. Check that. American Gothic, named after the famous Americana painting by Grant Wood depicting a farmer and his wife, is a delightful 80s horror movie about a group of friends going on a little trip and taking a small airplane to reach their destination. Unfortunately for them, the plane gets into trouble and makes an emergency landing on a remote island where apparently a weird couple is living who have some secrets. Some very deadly secrets. Oh, and one of the friends has recently been released from the psychiatric ward after her baby died in the bathtub due to negligence. American Gothic is a fun classic that builds on the hillbilly trope where outsiders invade a group's home or surroundings and become the strangers who took a wrong turn. The general vibe in this movie is quite special. A combination of insanity and zaniness. There's quite a body count and the deaths are fairly original. Don't expect to be scared though, there aren't even any real jump scares. Anyways, let's not waste each other's time any longer and just watch this movie. It's good simple fun. Smash that. And that was that. Amazing, isn't it? Already the end of the 25th episode. On to 50, right? And then 100. 200. 500. 1000. And before you know it, we'll have 1,000,000 episodes with over 10 million movies seen. Currently, at the date of recording, which has been at least a month away from showing this on YouTube, I have watched at least a total of 618 days, 1 hours, 1 minutes watching 21,564 episodes of 586 shows, and 224 days, 5 hours, 6 minutes watching 3,011 movies. I keep track of that stuff since a couple of years, using the site track.tv that even tracks it automatically if you use certain apps, which I don't. It's all manual for me since I use an app they don't support in an easy way. It's all good though. It's a good site. Check it out and be sure to come back next time for another Smash TV.